Welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today, we're going to be exploring the world of AI, but not just in a general sense. We're going to kind of untangle two specific types, generative AI and agent AI.
Yeah, these are not fancy buzzwords. I think understanding the difference between these two is key to really grasping where AI is headed and how it's going to impact, well, everything.
Exactly. And to get us started, we have an episode from QAAIWIZARDS. They always do such a good job at making these concepts really understandable.
Yeah.
And they hit on some key points here. So to kind of set the stage here, think of it this way. Generative AI is the artist, the creator. It makes new things, text, images, music, you name it, based on what it's learned.
It's almost like giving it a set of building blocks.
Yeah.
Saying, all right, go build something.
Yeah.
And what are you going to come up with?
It's not just like remixing stuff, like taking existing things and just mashing them together. It's generating something new.
Right. Take DALL-E, for example. You can type in, a cat riding a unicorn through a neon city, and it'll create an image just from that description.
Whoa, that's wild.
Yeah.
And it's not just images. This is happening across mediums.
Exactly. We're already seeing generative AI write blog posts, compose music, even create realistic 3D models for like video games.
Well, potentially we could have AI just like churning out content 24/7.
Yeah.
What does that even mean for artists and writers? Are they going to be out of a job?
That's a huge question, and one that the source material touches on. It's less about replacing human creativity and more about augmenting it. So imagine a writer using AI to overcome writer's block, or a musician collaborating with AI to explore new soundscapes.
Okay, I'm starting to see the potential here. It's like having this creative partner who can just work with you at any time on any project.
Exactly. And this is just the beginning. As these models get more sophisticated, who knows what they'll be capable of?
So we've got the creator, generative AI. Now, what about agent AI? How does that fit into all of this?
So think of agent AI as the doer. It's about taking action, solving problems, and achieving goals. So it's not just about creating something new. It's about using intelligence to get things done in the real world.
So are we talking about things like Siri or Alexa? Those are definitely doing things for us.
That's a great example, but it goes way beyond that. Think self-driving cars. They're not just following, pre-programmed routes. They're using AI to make real-time decisions in incredibly complex environments. That's agent AI in action.
So it's like the difference between designing a car and actually driving it. Generative AI might create the blueprint, but agent AI is putting the car on the road.
Yeah.
And figuring out how to navigate.
Exactly. And that's why the source material kind of highlights 2025 as a key year for agent AI. They predict that these systems are going to become even more intuitive and proactive, taking on more complex tasks.
Yeah.
And making more sophisticated decisions.
So we've got generative AI as the artist, and then agent AI as the action taker. But what happens when you combine the two? What kind of possibilities open up when you have an AI that can both create and act?
That's where things get really fascinating. The source material hints at a future where generative and agent AI work in tandem, creating a kind of synergistic intelligence that could revolutionize everything, from business to healthcare.
So we're talking about an AI that can not only dream up innovative solutions, but also figure out how to make them a reality.
Precisely. Think about it. You could have an AI system that not only designs a life-saving drug, but also figures out how to manufacture it, distribute it, and personalize it for individual patients.
That's mind-blowing. And I'm guessing there are even bigger implications for things like climate change or space exploration.
Absolutely. We're talking about a whole new level of problem solving. But to get there, we need to kind of delve deeper into how these two types of AI can work together. And that's precisely what we'll be unpacking in the next part of this deep dive.
Okay, listeners, stay tuned. Because it sounds like we're just scratching the surface here.
Okay, so let's imagine for a second. A typical day, maybe 5 years from now, you wake up and your AI assistant, powered by, this blend of generative and agent AI, has already analyzed your schedule, the news, even the weather, to kind of curate this personalized briefing just for you.
So instead of me like scrolling through, just a generic news feed, I'm getting information that's tailored to my interests and what's actually relevant to my day.
Exactly. And it goes deeper than that. Let's say you're planning a trip. The QAAIWIZARDS episode we're looking at suggests that future agent AI will be incredibly intuitive. So imagine telling your AI, I need a vacation, somewhere with beaches and great food, but not too crowded.
And it wouldn't just like pull up a list of generic travel packages.
No, it would act like a true travel agent, using generative AI to create a custom itinerary. So it might suggest like a lesser-known island in the Philippines, predict the optimal time to visit for the best weather and fewest crowds, and even draft personalized recommendations for restaurants and activities.
Oh, that would be amazing. No more hours spent sifting through travel blogs and reviews. But what about something more? Every day. How would this blend of AI kind of play out in a work setting?
Well, imagine you're working on a big project. Generative AI could help you brainstorm ideas, draft content, even create visuals or presentations. Then Agent AI could take over the management side, scheduling meetings, delegating tasks to team members, ensuring that everything stays on track and within budget.
So it's like having this built-in project manager and creative director.
Yeah.
All in one. But wouldn't that make things feel, I don't know, impersonal? Like I'm losing that human element in my work and in my daily life.
Yeah, that's an important point. The key is to remember that AI is a tool. It's meant to enhance our capabilities, not replace human connection. And it's up to us to define how we integrate these tools, ethically and responsibly.
So it's less about AI taking over and more about AI empowering us to be more efficient, more creative, and maybe even have more free time to focus on the things that we actually enjoy.
Exactly, and the potential goes far beyond just work and travel. Think about healthcare. Your AI assistant could analyze your health data, provide personalized fitness and nutrition recommendations, and even alert you to potential health risks before they become serious.
It's like having a personal health coach available 24/7.
Yeah.
But what about the potential downsides? I know some people worry about AI becoming too invasive or controlling.
It's a valid concern, and one that we need to address as we develop these technologies. The key is to ensure that AI systems are designed with privacy and security in mind, and that users have control over how their data is used.
So it's all about finding that balance between the incredible potential of AI and the need for human oversight and ethical considerations.
Exactly. And that leads us to some of the more thought-provoking questions surrounding generative and agent AI. Are we ready for a world where AI is so seamlessly integrated into our lives that we barely notice it? And if so, what are the implications for our society, our economy, and even our sense of self?
These are big questions and ones that we need to grapple with sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it really does feel like we're on the verge of something massive, like the invention of the internet or the smartphone, but like with even bigger implications.
Yeah, it's true. The potential is vast.
Yeah.
And as these technologies become more sophisticated, more integrated into our lives, we're going to need to navigate some complex questions.
Like, how do we ensure that these powerful tools are used for good? The QAAIWIZARDS episode touched on this a bit. You know, it's not enough to just develop the technology. We need to be thinking about the ethical framework around it.
Absolutely. And that's a conversation that needs to involve everyone, not just, tech experts or policymakers. We all need to be having open and honest discussions about the kind of future we want to build with AI.
So what are some of the key things that we need to be thinking about? What are the potential pitfalls that we should be aware of? Well, one concern is that as AI systems become more autonomous, we need to be very careful about the decision-making processes they use. We need to understand how these systems are arriving at their conclusions, especially when those conclusions have real-world consequences.
Well, like in the case of self-driving cars, for example.
Yeah.
If an accident happens, how do we determine who's responsible?
Exactly. And it gets even more complex when you think about AI being used in areas like healthcare or finance, where decisions can have a major impact on people's lives.
It makes me think about all those sci-fi movies where, like, AI takes over and things go haywire. Is that like a realistic concern, or is that just Hollywood drama?
I think it's important to separate science fiction from reality. AI at its core is a tool. It's a reflection of the data it's trained on and the goals we program it to achieve. The real danger isn't, some sentient AI turning against humanity. It's us humans misusing these tools or failing to anticipate the unintended consequences.
So it comes back to that idea of responsibility and ethical development. We need to be asking the tough questions now to ensure that AI is used to benefit society as a whole.
Exactly. And I think that's the most important takeaway for our listeners today. As we enter this new era of AI, it's crucial to stay informed, engage in these conversations, and advocate for the kind of future we want to see.
Don't just passively consume the technology. Be active participants in shaping how it's developed and used. That's the message I'm hearing.
That's it. And remember, AI is a powerful force for change. But ultimately, it's up to us to decide how that change unfolds.
Well, thank you so much for all of these insights. It's definitely given me a lot to think about. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of generative and agent AI. Hopefully you're leaving with a better understanding of these technologies and a sense of the incredible possibilities and the challenges that lie ahead.